So yeah, so let's talk a little bit. I know we kind of talked about it briefly. So you got your emails. They're getting the free beats. So from the email hack you just told us, you're sending them to somewhere where they get the free beats, and they have to put their email in to get the free beats.
Exactly.
And now they're on your real mail list or whatever.
Yep.
And then so now you're taking them up that value ladder. Talk to us more about that value ladder and the producer funnel business model.
For sure. So like from there, the first thing that they're going to see, like we talked about, right? They opt in, they see that video, you're starting to tell your story.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what's important is like knowing who that customer is, because you want to be talking directly to that customer. Meaning like, if you think about like the way that you talk to your mom compared to the way that you talk to your friends, compared to the way that you talk if you're being recorded on a podcast, like it's different, right? It's just human nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you start speaking into a camera, when you're just like, hey, this is Gabe from Legion Beats. Like, I hope you guys like these beats. Like, you don't know who you're talking to. So a lot of times that's part of why people seem so dry when they're on camera. So if you have that person in mind and like really have that person in mind, like give them a name, give them a whole backstory, like, fucking Bobby from Atlanta who's 23 years old and, went to one.
My boy Bobby.
Went to, dropped out of college, but he loves music and bubble. And like, so now what happens is every single thing you do when you're getting on that camera, when you're writing those emails, instead of like writing generically, you're writing to that dude. And now all of a sudden, like, it doesn't sound so dry. You sound like a real person because you're talking to, a real person, like in your mind, right? So that would be the first thing. And then also with Bobby in mind, you want to create that offer, right? So now that first offer is going to be like a relatively low ticket item. Like I'd say definitely less than $50, probably less than $40 on that first one.
Yeah.
Because you want it to kind of be a no-brainer, like, oh my God, he's stacked on all this value. He's got his homie who's going to mix the record in the Philippines, and he's got like, whatever it is, like all the cool stuff that you put together in your little bundle. And that's the first thing they see.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, you can do stuff where like you can give them upsells, right? Which is kind of like, hey, cool, like you just got that offer, like great job. That was a great choice you made. Here's this next thing that is gonna, help you get results 10 times faster or 10 times better or whatever. Like, just as an example, let's say you didn't include the mixing and mastering on that first part. Mm-hmm. The next part could be like, yo, you just got a bunch of great beats. That's awesome. It included this other stuff. Cool. So you could record that and you can mix it yourself and it'll probably, sound okay. But like, if you want it to sound amazing, here's this next thing you need, And so you can keep kind of stacking, like giving more offers, right? Mm-hmm. So then you could be like an upsell. There could be another upsell. And then what's amazing, like the best part about this is you've got them on your list. Mm-hmm. So now you can use that to continue to communicate with them. So now you're telling your story. You're maybe pushing them back to that offer page if they haven't bought, but also you can offer them different stuff in the future because now they're on your list. So like you can build that relationship, you can build that rapport. Unlike if they just click over to your beat store and they don't buy, then they just disappear, right?
Right.
They're gone.
Yeah.
Run.
Right.
Yeah.
Go.
And a lot of times, even if they buy, like you can collect those emails, but a lot of people aren't even doing that.
Right.
So then you develop that relationship. Now you can offer them the next thing and the next thing and the next thing.
What would be the next offer? Because I could see how someone thinks, okay, I offered them my beats, I offered them mix and master. That's pretty much all I got. What's the next step after that? What's the next value proposition after that?
Yeah, I mean, you can structure it so many different ways. If it, like I was saying earlier, if you feel like you've run out of stuff, then like what can I offer from somebody else, right? Maybe it is a course that somebody else has created. Maybe it's it could be anything. Maybe at a certain point, like you can start getting into continuity and getting into like a subscription model, like a membership. I'm like hesitant to talk about that because like you really want to it's so much harder to sell and it's harder to fulfill on. So like
Keep up with.
Yeah. So like it's great. Like you should want that as a goal, but get really good at this first part that we're talking about of getting people in, driving that traffic, getting them to opt in, giving them that offer, getting them to buy. Once you're good with that and you've developed that, now you have this community, you now have this people. That to me eventually would be the next thing, would be that some type of membership or subscription thing. But I almost don't like to say it because like people try to do that from off the bat, and it's just like
bite off way more than they can chew.
Yeah.
Because then when it's not a membership, it's as close to residual as can be. Nothing's like 100% pure residual, but when you bring in that membership, now you got a job because you got people that are signed up to this membership, and you got to make sure that you're giving them what they pay for every month.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you give us some gems on Facebook ads and driving people to your funnel through those ads?
Yeah, so we spend a lot of money on Facebook ads, but like we do it profitably, right? We make more than that money back. So like, as far as tips, I mean, one thing I'll just say as far as like big picture is like, I hate it. Like there's a lot of producers who will tell you like, oh, don't do Facebook ads. Like I tried it, like it doesn't work. Like,
Right.
and it's like, to me, that's like, you're telling people not to cash in on one of the biggest opportunities that we have in our lifetime right now. Like Facebook ads is crazy. Like, okay, so like Mark Zuckerberg, he owns Facebook, he owns Instagram, he bought WhatsApp, he owns something called the Audience Network, which is basically he can get your message in front of people who are on the Facebook Messenger app, who are on the Facebook app, who are on Instagram, who are on basically every other game, and like he can have your shit show up on Tinder, like everywhere, right? So we say
Facts.
Facebook ads, but really it's using the Facebook ads manager to reach his whole audience, which is about 3 billion people, right? And there's like,
That's
what,
almost
7
half the world.
billion people
Right.
in the world, right? So it's like the whole planet, basically, right? So like, it's incredible. It's amazing, right? And not only can you reach all those people, you can get crazy hyper-targeted about who you're reaching. So you can reach the exact right people. So it's like, Facebook ads are amazing. So anybody who tells you they don't work is they're not doing it right. So, but you do have to spend some money because you have to like spend some money to figure out what works. There's no getting around it. Like you have to test stuff. But yeah, I guess as far as getting into specifics, like, you know, one big thing that already kind of makes sense with what we're talking about is what producers will try to do is they'll do an ad that goes to their beat store, right? And it's the exact same problem that we've been talking about, right? Which is people aren't going to click in the first place. And if they do, even less are going to buy.
Right.
And then from there, the relationship is over anyways. So like just that alone, just the fact that now you've got it set up the way that we've been talking about, now all of a sudden, what you're worried about more than the sale is the lead. Like, did they opt into my email list? Because
Right.
at a certain point, you know, okay, for every 100 people that opt into my email list, this many people buy, the product costs this much. Therefore, I know every lead is worth to me, you know, $3 or whatever. And now all of a sudden I can just look at Facebook. Now it's like a game. I can look at Facebook in the ads manager and it'll tell me, okay, each lead right now I'm getting them for 60 cents. Now you're just printing money.
Right.
Because if you're spending 60 cents and you're getting $2 out, it's like a magic ATM machine. Like that's incredible.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's sort of big picture. That's kind of the game. That's how you win at that.
Now, so what do the best ads look like? Are they just like someone holding their phone up, you know, to a beat? Is it them talking like, "Hey, I got an offer for you"? Is it a picture? What have been your experience?
Yeah, this will be an unsatisfying answer, but it's really about testing. So I've done pretty much all those things you've talked about. I've done ones where it's me talking on camera, and those have done really, really well. I've done ones where it's like the behind the scenes, like me making a beat or like pretending because I like made it like a year ago or whatever.
Right.
But you know, like
Everyone's got a little cap in the game. Right?
One of the videos where like they're playing the beat and like acting like they're making it.
yeah, definitely. Those have done really well for me. I've done ones where like I've got like a great graphic designer on my team, Matt, who does just all kinds of cool ideas where it'll you know just be like a picture of a microphone and it'll say like finish that album, you know, and then it's like and then it becomes about the copy, it becomes about the text that, you know, shows up above or below it. So all that stuff has worked for me and you just kind of have to test it out honestly and see. But those will be 3 good ones to start with. Like try it with you talking on camera, try doing it like here's me in the studio making the beat, and try like some random graphic that says, you know, get some free beats or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But the one thing not to do is to put money behind a Facebook ad of someone just leading straight to the beat store without collecting emails.
If it's just a beat store, it's going to be really tough.
And that's why
It's
people
not
say
efficient,
that,
right?
And that's why
Yeah.
people say it doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.